The Houston Rockets have eyes on Mikal Bridges, which begs the question, will the Houston Rockets trade their third pick for a win-now player? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Summit State of Mind, presented to you by the Apollo Podcast Network and powered by Big City Wings. In this episode, we're going to discuss the chances of Mikal Bridges coming to the Rockets, what the price should be, and what he could possibly bring to the table for next season for Houston. We'll also discuss the upside of trading away the third pick. That's right, we're not going to talk about any rookies, no possible draft stock, no possible draft picks. We're only going to be discussing what will happen and the upside if the Rockets choose to trade away this third pick for a win-now player. As you can see, I'm in studio, so of course I got to be joined by the big dog, DJ Maooses.
Yep.
You already know.
Yep.
No, that was super late, Justin. DJ, that's why DJ the Oos. You just the Oosius.
DJ handle
He's
it.
the Oosius. You're just.
I'm the hype man.
You're the Paul Heyman.
I will yeet later.
You're the Paul Heyman. You want to be Paul? You can be the Paul Heyman.
My name is Paul Heyman.
God.
Yeah.
The worst act.
That was a terrible one.
Well,
Oh, man.
it's a lovely way to start the
Boy,
episode.
lovely.
I'm joined by, of course, DJ and Justin, my boys. How we doing today? We all good?
Good. It's
Yeah,
hot.
we're good, man. It's been a hot day.
hot.
You already know, man. Houston is burning up, and it's barely June.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. I literally turned down the temp here in our studio to 69.
Wow.
Nice.
It's cold.
Ben
I can feel
DuBose
it.
would be very happy about that.
Boys, look, let's get into it right now. We are officially less than 3 weeks away from the NBA draft. It's coming up. 20 days.
That's really close.
Yeah,
I
no.
haven't even thought about it.
We're really zoning in on it, and the stove is it's percolating right now. It's really percolating in terms of what the Rockets can do or may do, what they might do, drafting, trading, and there's been some names on the hot stove, but the biggest name on the hot stove currently is Mikal Bridges, and the chances of Houston making that leap to make that trade to try to get Mikal Bridges. There's been a lot of news. Kelly Iko has mentioned it a couple of times already. It's been on the news. People have talked about, whether they should trade it, whether they shouldn't trade it. But let's drop it off to y'all right now. Mikal Bridges, just talk about it right now in terms of what. First of all, do we want Mikal Bridges? Let's start with you, DJ. Do we want Mikal Bridges in Houston? Like, how do you feel?
It's really hard to say.
I wouldn't mind Mikal Bridges in Houston. It's the fact of how much Brooklyn is asking for Mikal Bridges. And they seem to think that...
Asking price.
Yeah. They
Okay.
seem to think that we need Mikal Bridges. No, we do not need Mikal Bridges. Would we love to have him? Yes. Yes. It's just, like I said, asking price. And I don't know. It's just that's just my thing, the asking price. I wouldn't be, like I said, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Well, again, I hate to sound like a broken record. Asking price.
I'd say it's a luxury.
Yeah.
Like the possibility of bringing Mikal Bridges at the price of, pick 3, that'd be a luxury for us and a luxury for Brooklyn. I mean, sure, it would help us in the short term. I mean, Mikal Bridges is definitely young enough still to where he can have an impact as time goes on. As who he's been, he's made an impact. He's made an NBA Finals with the Phoenix Suns as a pretty big role player.
I forgot he's made the finals.
And
he made the finals that year.
And I mean, that's why I wouldn't mind. He's like I said, finals appearance, and we've seen what he can do on a championship caliber team.
Yes.
A good 3-point shooter, hell of a defender. It's just, I don't know, his play has kind of regressed, and that's him, being that number 1 option on that Brooklyn Nets team.
Yeah.
But again, wouldn't mind.
Yeah, do we want Mikal Bridges knowing that he only has 2 years left of club control, knowing that after after next season and the following season, he's gonna command max dollars, knowing that
That's the same time as
core
Jabari
six,
Smith Jr.
right? That the
and
core
Tari
6
Eason will be due.
exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think you guys are all asking valid questions. Like, what is the price? Is the price worth it? And who has the leverage? Is it Brooklyn or is it Houston?
No, it's obviously-
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's obviously us, and
obviously
us.
considering that Brooklyn's future is
I
practically
agree.
mortgaged. But I would say that from the Rockets' point of view, the point of view of everyone else, everyone sees the strides that the Rockets have made, and they can see what a veteran could potentially help with. And I mean, no offense to Dylan Brooks, but if we were to 3 and Dylan Brooks for Mikal Bridges, fuck yeah.
In a heartbeat.
And then you give them back their swaps. I mean, that depends.
No, I ain't trying to
I don't know.
I don't
See,
wanna
I mean,
give back their swabs.
there's value. I mean, there is certainly value in Mikal Bridges and his style of play. The question is, what would other teams offer them? And what does our offer compare to them? What I would think, but at the same time, you don't want to abandon the core six, and having the third pick in a draft that's potentially one of the weakest drafts of the century, it's just terrible timing in regards to that. And the value of 3 is not going to be considered the true value of what the number 3 pick is on any other draft.
Right.
This draft is seen differently.
Right.
So there's different evaluations, and the value has gone lower in terms of like everybody across the board.
I've never understood, though. I understand that there's a love for the core six, the core six of the Rockets, which you guys obviously know, the draft stock that we've compiled now since the 2021 season, since we got Jalen and LP, and then we've stemmed and grew from there. But at the end of the day, guys, let's put eggs on the table. When the Rockets are ready to finally contend, who from the core six is still going to be here? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we can't. Like, I understand these are growing players. They're really good. Mm-hmm. But who is really, truly out of the six going to stand out? That still remains to be seen. And on top of that, we need players that can affect winning. I'm sorry, that can affect winning right now. And what I mean by that is what Mikal Bridges brings to the table currently. First of all, I took a glance through his stats. I have his stats right here. Dude's a freaking Iron Man. Played 82 last season. Played 83 the year before that, because he played for both Phoenix and Brooklyn. Played an extra game.
That's fair. That's right. Yeah.
His least amount of games.
He takes pride in that.
Yeah, his least amount of games he played was. I can't even count the 72 game season because there was only 72 games played that year. Yeah. So like he's played. He's been an Iron Man.
Game essentially.
Yeah, except for his second season where he played 73 games. That's his least played. The dude's a straight up Iron Man, and we need healthy players.
Reliability and health is very big.
Reliability, health, and I want to add on to that, by the way. Reliability, health, 3-point shooting. He averaged close to 38% last year. He is a career 37% 3-point shooter. He ticks the boxes of what fans have wanted.
I think he's a great Ime guy. He's a great Ime guy.
Oh, 100%
Ime guy.
And I think Ime is up there like, hey, like, if y'all do go after Mikal, like, I think he'll be a perfect fit for this team.
I'm sure he's pushing it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I understand, like, what Dylan would bring to the table, and that's cool and everything, but, like, I wouldn't mortgage all the Brooklyn picks, but I think the Rockets, what could get the deal done is Dylan, number 3, someone from the core 6.
They would probably send us Phoenix, because they got Phoenix picks from that Mikal Bridges KD trade. They'll probably send us Phoenix picks too. Yeah.
If we send them all their picks back,
yeah, at least give us Phoenix picks. That's all.
Because I mean, those would appear later, and then as Phoenix, you can see they're going down now. Yeah. With those years, I believe it's like 20. I don't know if it's 2025. I know it's 2027, 2029, something along those lines. And Phoenix will definitely be on the downturn. Yeah. They're already on the downturn now. But, like, even then, I'm good with trading 3 and Dylan Brooks, that type of value. We don't need an enforcer in Dylan Brooks anymore because we can tell you the truth. Our enforcers are Jabari Smith Jr. and Cam Whitmore. Let's be real.
I was like, choose your next words very
Jabari
carefully.
Smith Jr. is ready to throw fisticuffs with anybody in this league. We've seen it throughout the whole year.
Yeah, because, I was a main advocate for Dylan, especially at the beginning of the season when he went on that, crazy tear.
Like, he shot, almost 50% from 3 in the first 6 weeks.
He was the number one.
He was number one. He was shooting better than Steph Curry, at some point in the season.
We had this episode. We can play the tapes back because we talked about it.
Yeah.
But when it comes, like you said, when it comes down to it, hey, if he's in that trade package, hey, I will pack Dylan's bags for him.
Sorry.
I love the villain. Don't get me wrong. I love the mindset. I love what he brought to this team.
Yeah.
But dude, if there's a better opportunity out there for us, and I guess we could say for him, because if you get sent to Brooklyn, that's purgatory.
Damn, Big Oos is ready to give him the Jock Londale treatment. Let me pack your bags. Let me pack your bags. You said for Jock Londale, we're going to pack his bags.
With Jock, I don't care. You can kick rocks. I don't care about you. Here's this difference. Dylan, I fucking love it. I love what he brought to this team.
And he still has a team option.
But with Jock, you could get the stepping, big fella. I don't care. You can get the stepping. Yeah, you did good at the end of the season, but dude, I don't want to talk about that Philly game. Never mind.
Oh man, that game brought back memories I don't want to relive.
Oh Lord, no, Jock.
I think I gave him PTSD just now, just by mentioning.
No, it's
My
it's
bad,
fine.
dude.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, let's talk about. Let's expand upon Mikal Bridges. Obviously, what is a fair? Okay, let's do our best to remove the Rockets' lens, our fandom. What is a fair offer for Mikal Bridges, who is average 19 points per game, Iron Man, defensive versatility? The absolute equivalent of what a two-way player should be is what Mikal Bridges kind of brings to the table. 19 points per game, high three-point percentage, averages 45+% from the field. He's efficient. Not a superstar by any means, but what is, Big Goose, over to you first. What is a fair asking price? What do you think?
So Brooklyn, if I'm in the front office, if I'm Stone, I was like, hey, we can give you Brooks.
I feel like they're going to want one of the core six.
Yeah, probably one of the core six. But you tell them, hey, that's off limits. But we can give you, your pick swaps back. But we're not giving them all back. That's the thing.
Right.
But I understand, if they get rid of Mikal, then they got to rebuild.
Yeah, they're going full rebuild.
Yeah, they're going full rebuild.
At that point, they're going full tilt.
They get rid of Mikal, that's a
Right.
full rebuild. So I would say I'll give you most of your draft picks back. So it'd be Dylan, maybe one of Jeff Green and Jock Landale, probably Jock Landale, and maybe two or three of their pick swaps. I don't know how many we got, but probably two of the pick swaps.
We have 2 pick swaps.
I know we have
and
at
then
least
one more draft pick.
And then 4, I guess Mikal Bridges and 2 of the Phoenix Suns pick swaps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
I think I don't know because the picks, okay. It's just the players that are making me question it because Jock Landale, he's not he's not that type of player. He's not what they need.
No.
Yeah, it's about what they need. That's why I think they're gonna want someone from the core six.
That's the problem. I'm trying to stay away from the core six.
Yeah,
I know it's hard
because that's off limits.
I know who Brooklyn would probably want in terms of
or
value.
who would they want?
Number 4.
No.
What?
They want Cam Whitmore.
Oh no.
I think okay, so this is what I would value it as is number 3, obviously Dylan.
Yeah,
Cam Whitmore as superstar
I forgot to throw number 3 in there.
Potential in terms of that.
Yeah.
And then probably all the pick swaps and their picks and their pick. And then we get Mikal Bridges and the Phoenix picks, and that's probably what they would want. Because Cam Whitmore would essentially be another draft pick. He didn't play as much last year, but there's a lot of potential in him. And I feel like Brooklyn can be we can promote this as being our new guy. Dylan Brooks can be the guy that plays ahead of him, or you can put Dylan at the 3 or the 2. Cam can play 3 or the 2 either as well, or even a stretch 4 if Brooklyn wants to get creative. I don't know if that would really work, but I'm just throwing shit at the wall. But that's probably what they would value as fair. Stone would probably not want to do that, but in order to potentially bring in a guy that Ime would extremely value in terms of effort, hustle, defense, three-point shooting, reliability, health, someone that'll always be there. I mean, we've had a lot of players that have gone out with injuries the past few years, especially, one of our favorite players, Tar Eason, my man, cannot stay healthy. And that's one of the things that Ime and Roth are probably valuing in that regards, in addition to the shooting that Mikal Bridges does bring to the table. I think that's probably what Brooklyn wants, or that might even be what the Rockets are offering. Brooklyn might want more. But, if anyone remembers the James Harden trade, OKC originally asked for 3 firsts, Chandler Parsons, Kevin Martin, and I believe 1 or 2 more pieces, but they actually ended up with just Kevin Martin.
2 firsts.
And 2 firsts.
Kevin
It was
Martin.
Jeremy Lamb and
Jeremy
else.
Lamb, right.
And then the pick that we got for the Kyle Lowry trade.
And I think that's a good baseline. I think that's a good baseline. I'm not comparing Mikal Bridges to James Harden, but I think that's a good baseline, which means you trade the pick you have. You trade the pick you have currently. You trade salary, obviously, for salary purposes, and you trade someone that's young with a ton of potential. So, guys, cards on the table. If Brooklyn says, all right, we'll make the trade right now if you give us one of Amen or Cam, who would y'all... Well, first of all, if you had to...
If I had to...
Who would you get rid of first? Because I think that's who they'd want. I think they want.
Yeah.
I think they would love Amen for size, big guard. I think they would love Cam, for explosive
Is that
star
Brooklyn
potential.
or the Rockets?
Brooklyn,
I feel like I have an idea about who Brooklyn values more.
Yeah.
right?
I
So
mean,
like,
because they
yeah.
already have a version of Cam Whitmore on the team. His name is Cam Thompson. I mean, Cam Thompson's a way
Yeah.
better scoring.
Well, Cam Thompson's more proven too.
But
Yeah.
but they both can't play make.
No.
They both
Yeah.
can't play make, and they're both like. I think Cam Whitmore's a better defender than Cam Thomas, but
That's not saying much.
it's yeah. But
Damn.
I just
I would
I
think
know,
they would value Ben Thompson a lot
Yeah,
more.
they
I mean, it's
would.
obvious. I mean, outside of the fact that with Brooklyn has Ben Simmons, yeah.
Listen,
so-
yeah, their
okay.
point guard situation is disgusting. over
Yeah,
there.
so I
they,
mean-
they have plays, and I know like Spencer Dinwiddie got traded to the Lakers, but I was watching one game and they had Spencer Dinwiddie at point guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
Brooklyn's down bad, and
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Amen would be the guy that they would probably
Yeah.
want because he is someone that can set the table. He's so much value in terms of everything else, and he'd probably change the culture there, just the way he plays, who he is.
Yeah.
But am I
Yeah.
giving up Amen Thompson? Fuck no.
Fuck no.
Hell
Heck
no.
no. He's not the one I would get. He's not the
Amen
one I
stays
get
in
rid of.
H-Town, baby.
Baby,
Right.
come on
No, I want those two to stay. It's just realistically, like being realistic here, and they're
Yeah.
gonna want not a Godfather offer, obviously, because he's not a superstar by any means, but they're gonna want something close.
I mean, we were gonna like. I'm not saying we can have those conversations right now, but down the line, we're gonna have that conversation about, like you said,
yeah,
part of the core six or some of the core six probably won't be here when we
They
like
won't be here.
contending for championships,
right. Whether
or,
they get traded or don't get signed,
yeah, or in playoff talks, and I know it's gonna be a hard conversation, but it's gonna happen eventually.
It's
'cause
gonna happen
it's gonna
eventually,
happen.
right?
You
That's
can't
kind of
pay
why I
everybody.
mentioned it too.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but
Right.
it's true.
That's
That's
what-
just the
yeah.
name of the game. It's the business.
Yeah,
That's kind of like what the setup is. So like, okay, so we talked about the price of what Mikal would bring, of what would cost to get Mikal here. If Mikal does get here, talk to the fans, talk to people that are not sure on Mikal Bridges. What does Mikal bring to the table right now that would help this Rockets team, and how much better is this team with Mikal on it? Like, obviously not championship contender.
Would you like to answer?
Yeah, GM, over to you.
I mean, we're talking about
What do you think?
like with the current roster.
Yes.
And
Let's say you get rid of
with
Dillon
I'm
Brooks.
anticipating everyone getting better. And 41-41 was the barometer last year, right? I would say if these guys develop, the core six develop the way that I believe they should, and you bring in a guy like Mikal Bridges, who is extremely reliable, someone that's very professional and understands what it's like to succeed in this league, we're winning 50 games
Yeah.
with Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's just how I view it. But that's me anticipating the growth of Alp, putting himself in the even more upper echelon of stars. Jalen Green becoming more consistent and again launching himself into that echelon of stardom, and then anticipating a healthy Tari, Jabari making the adjustments in year 3 to succeed, Amen Thompson healthy.
Didn't you
Cam
predict
Whitmore.
50 though, even without Mikal?
I did.
I think 50. Like,
So-
if we keep the core, I think our ceiling would be like maybe 52, 53.
Yeah, I think that win total should shoot up.
That win total should go up.
Yeah, I don't think. I think it may be more than 50.
I
think
agree.
You
I
because you
mean-
said 50 even before, like a couple episodes ago. You said it 50 with no Mikal.
We should be at 50 wins regardless.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Facts.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, that's fair. If you're
Yeah.
looking at it like that, where it should be at least like between 52 to 55 wins, that's a definite that's fairly
Dog,
high.
50.
But I
could
mean,
you
that's
imagine?
saying
Could
that
you imagine?
like our
Let's go
defense
50.
does not
I
go
gotta
down
look at
like
this.
it did
I gotta look at this.
mid-season. We can win games like a normal team on
Yeah.
the road. Like Jalen and Jabari Smith shoot more. Consistently throughout
Okay.
the year.
Right.
That would be great if Cam Whitmore's still here or not. He'd be a great addition. Amen Thompson. I'm not anticipating guys like Aaron Holiday getting PT. We're not even mentioning like
Holiday
Steven
might-
Adams
Aaron Holiday might not
still
even be
being on
here.
this team. No, Jock Landale. Who
If
knows?
if we go based on records just from this past season, if the Rockets got at least 52 wins, we eclipse the Clippers and we're the 4th seed.
Yeah.
Like that's That's kind
That's
of
a
where
testament to the West.
Yeah,
That's how
that's
close
testament
it
to the
was.
West. We'd be one game up and we'd be in the 4th seed. Firm control of the 4th
I
seed.
do know the West is going to get a lot better.
Oh, they're going to continue to get better.
It's going to be going to be a
Right.
few teams that might go down like the Warriors, Clippers, maybe the Suns,
Lakers.
Lakers, and we might see like I'm not saying we're going to have like
The Pelicans. I'm
Yeah.
looking
I'm not
at the
worried
team.
about
I'm looking at the team.
Pelicans
I'm not worried about
Phoenix.
the Pelicans.
I think Phoenix.
yeah Pelicans. No, I think because
There's a lot of teams
Well,
actually
they,
that
they're
are
definitely
drop off
trying
right
to
now.
trade Brandon
yeah
Ingram.
they're trying to
Right.
trade
Sure.
Ingram. And I don't think Zion is well he's a great player. But I
Right.
don't think he's
Ever going to be healthy.
yeah. And then
We gotta accept
the fact
fate
that
here,
he's
y'all.
got to be healthy for a playoff. No.
Yeah.
No.
So putting the Rockets into that, like, even just at 52 wins would put us at the 4th seed. So that alone, if that's kind of the barometer of what we're looking at in terms of what kind of Mikal brings to the table, I mean,
Dude, that's a 7 seed difference.
guys, like you gotta kick. At the very least, I would love for the Rockets. I need Rafael Stone to kick the tires, and I need this to happen just because. And I think I talked about this at the last episode or 2 episodes ago. But I need Stone to make a move. I need Stone to show me that he's willing to make the big balls, big cojones trade to make something happen. Like the last big trade he made was his first major. Well, I think it was his first trade as a GM, which was James Harden,
yeah.
which to get
Yeah.
James Harden out of Houston. But I have yet to see him make a win now trade to bring someone in that can affect this culture now.
Yeah.
Like we need to see it. I don't care what anyone says. Look at who's in the finals right now. You got Luka, you got Kyrie. Obviously, you drafted Luka, you traded for Kyrie. Boom, that's a trade. Obviously, on the other side, you got the Celtics. Obviously, you got Tatum and Jaylen Brown,
You traded
who
for
were
Derek
drafted.
White.
But you traded for
because they
Drew
kinda,
Holiday.
They kind of had a young core, but then they was okay.
You made a couple of trades.
Yeah, they traded for Derek White. They traded for Drew Holiday. They traded for Kristaps.
Yep.
Like they had to make some sacrifice in order to get to the position where they are today.
Yeah, I mean they're building around the margins essentially. They
Yeah.
knew who their guys were, which is what the Rockets are in the middle of doing, figuring
Yeah.
out who are their guys. I mean, it's already 2024, but it feels like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have been going to the Eastern Conference Finals for
For
years
like almost
now.
every single year.
Yeah,
yes.
it feels like the
Yes.
same type
Yeah.
of run that the Astros have been on, right?
Yeah.
So it feels like they've been in the league forever, but in reality, Tatum's like what 26.
No, Tatum's like
Jalen-
20.
He's
Yeah,
20,
he's still
24,
really
25.
young.
So
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown's like 26.
26,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Because
Jaylen
Jaylen Brown was
older.
there first, and then like it's to me, it's totally wild to think about when you get like LP, Jaylen, 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
Jabari Smith Jr. literally just turned 21, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
I always say this: just preach patience, because you know what, we're gonna get there. We have the right coach at the helm. Stone is doing his part in terms of like trying to seek out value pieces in addition to adding in at the right price, right? And
You were
I think
right.
he's
They're both
I think
26.
it's wild.
That was crazy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're right around there. We still got four years until Jaylen and LP are there. Think about it like that. I mean, it's very unprecedented to have guys make runs like the Celtics have. So don't think about it like that. That's the wrong barometer to put it at.
Yeah.
We should be measuring ourselves in likes of other like Minnesota. Minnesota getting to the conference finals is very big, but they have an outlier. They have the defensive player of the year, the #1 overall pick, the 6th man of the year.
Well, but here's the key, though. Defensive player of the year that they traded for, which is
Yep.
what, which brings this whole thing full circle. And I think it brings the most necessary point is I need Rafael Stone
Yeah.
to show me something. Like, I need him to show me something. Like, he makes good draft picks. We've seen this. He makes really good draft picks, solid draft picks. I need a trade, man. I
Yeah,
need something. Show me something.
I mean, this season is the season that
Show me
he's gonna have to do
something.
it.
Come on.
I just like I said before, like I'm don't think I'm worried about is the asking price because
Right.
for the Minnesota to get Gobert, they gave up Minnesota was gonna be everything, almost not everything, but yeah. And they were getting criticized for it. It's like, hey, why are y'all trading all this for? Okay, yeah, he's a great defensive player, but
right.
this offense is kind of, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's just my thing.
Yeah.
Again, asking price. I don't want to just trade all this
No,
and everything
no.
for
Right.
somebody who's going to be a glorified role player on this team. Because, you got to give Jalen his touches. You got to give Şengün his touches. If Fred is still here, he's going to get his touches.
Yep.
Jabari got to get his touches. Like,
there's guys on the team that
There's
obviously
guys-
still
yeah.
need to grow.
yeah, there's
Right.
guys that still need to
At least
grow.
with
Yeah,
Mikal,
right.
you're not going to have someone that's going to dominate the ball.
Yeah.
He's really good at catch and shoot
Right.
situations.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's
It-
someone that definitely fits in that regard.
And it leads perfectly. This leads perfectly actually as well, because you said it yourself. Player A may not be worth it. Well, let's look at the landscape of what's coming up this next month, because the stove is gonna get
it's
really
gonna get
hot.
hot.
Yeah, it's gonna get on fire, because let's look through the landscape of the NBA and see who's available. You got obviously Mikal Bridges, who looks maybe for the right price available. The Nets are saying like, oh, we're not gonna make the trade, blah blah blah. We want to build star pieces around him. With what trade pieces do you have?
nothing.
So I don't think that's gonna happen. Mikal Bridges, Zion Williamson, and Brandon Ingram look like they probably are going to be available for trade.
It's probably going to be Brandon Ingram.
Paul George,
Yeah.
what's going to happen with
Yeah,
Paul
PG.
George on the Clippers? LeBron, is he going to opt out?
Is he going back to Cleveland?
Is he going back to Cleveland? You know what I mean? Like, there are players. You were about to say this. Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Like,
There you
there
go.
are.
Yeah.
This
Trae
is
Young
Trae
and
Young.
DeJounte Murray.
This is the
Yeah.
makings to be one of the busiest and loudest NBA free agencies and trades in the summer could be in NBA history. Like, from the way that everything is kind of happening right now. And what about Clay? What about Klay Thompson? What can happen there? You know what I mean? There's a lot of moving
forgot
parts
he's a
right
free
now.
agent.
Oh,
And
he better
who
not
is
touch
available
Houston.
and
I don't
who,
want him.
who's available, and is Stone have the cojones to make a trade
Yeah.
for any of these
Look,
guys?
I don't care what trade Stone makes, as long as he does not go get Klay Thompson. don't even think about. Hey, this is so and so from the Warriors. We got a trade package for
Hang that
for
shit
Klay.
up. Hang that shit
Fuck
up.
out my face, man. I don't want to. No, don't.
DJ, put that shit on voicemail.
my man's going to Orlando. They need
Yeah,
shooting.
they
No,
Yeah,
oh,
they-
man,
go to
no, I
Orlando.
could see him
Needs
going
him.
there.
Please.
That's the thing. So like, there's a lot of. Oh my gosh, and I forget Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. That's another one.
Oh, yeah, it's
They
true.
got to pick
Yeah.
between one or the other, according to reports.
Yeah.
If they choose to stay with Darius, Donovan wants to leave. It's like, guys, like there's pieces on the table for the Rockets to take advantage, to usurp in and make a trade. They got trade pieces. They got the draft picks. They got young players. they can make a run for any of these players.
Yeah.
It's just up to whether or not it fits in with, obviously with what the team may want, the future they may be mortgaging, and the pieces that they're offering. So I'm gonna lay out. I'll just get out on this information, y'all. So DJ, I want to go to you first. All these players with this type of landscape that's going into the summer, should the Rockets kick the tires on making a trade for possibly a star player? Is this the year to do it? You got to go. At some point, you got to go for something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And not this summer.
Oh,
We're a talented team. We're going to win more than 45 games next season. But if we're going to make that type of trade, like, we need to be like, okay, we need to be in the championship talks, or in the, hey, they can make a deep run talk.
Because you're saying, like, we should have been in, like, let's say we were in the plan hypothetically.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, we had an issue in X style.
Yeah.
We bring in this player that vaults us to the top 6. That's basically the kind of trend you're trying to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, I wouldn't, like I said, if we did, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
But I don't want to just like bring somebody in
For the sake of it.
Yeah, and then like,
Oh, that's fair.
it don't
Yeah,
work
that's a fair
out.
point.
It don't work out,
Right.
and then I want to get me out of here. No, I need. If we get X player, then that means hey, we going straight there. We're going straight there because you can just plug him in, he do what he do, and boom, we're at where we want. We're
yeah,
at
like
where we
top
want to be.
5
Yeah.
in the West.
Yeah.
which puts you in
Yeah.
contention.
Like,
which
I don't wanna
puts you-
get-
it puts you in that running.
I don't want to get Brandon. Let's just, for example, I don't want us to get Brandon Ingram, and then we need to trade it like maybe your boy Jabari or Atari, and then we end up as a 7th or 8th seed, and we're in playing talks, and then now we're fighting to get in the playoff. Nah, if we get a player like you say, Brandon Ingram or Paul George, whatever, we need to be like certified and ready to go. And don't get me wrong, I love the team. I love the players, but we still have like
They're not certified.
Yeah, we're not certified.
Not certified.
There's still holes on this roster. There's still like stuff going on. Like there's still stuff that needs to be improved with Sengun, even though he had an all-star year. It's stuff he needs to work on. Jalen.
Yeah, they're still pretty. They're pretty green as goose shit.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real.
Like Jalen,
they're still pretty green.
Like Jalen, Jabari, Tari. Like it's stuff needs to be done. Well, I ain't gonna say done. Stuff needs to be like tuned before we make that drive. If that
And
makes
it's weird
sense.
too because I feel like we're still not taken seriously.
Yeah.
We're 41-41, but for some reason I still feel like the landscape of the NBA still doesn't take
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're
any of those
overshadowed.
players
Yeah,
seriously,
we're,
right?
yeah, we're going to be
San
overshadowed. And, yeah.
Exactly,
kinda how it
and
is.
Dallas obviously
Yeah.
being these teams in
Yeah.
Texas. Well, over to you, GM. What does the climate look like? Do they make the trade? Should they make the trade?
Man, it's a very, very tall task. It's all
It's
dependent.
tough. It's a tough
It's
question.
dependent
I'm
on
asking
price.
y'all. I only ask y'all the tough
I
questions.
see
here.
what DJ is saying because acquiring a guy like Paul George, who's 34 years old, that's what's going to vault you from playoff contention or second round fodder to championship, right? What year? How old did we acquire Chris Paul at?
34.
34.
And Paul George is 34.
But
years
you
old.
had Harden.
So that exactly.
You had
That's what I'm
Harden.
saying.
You
That's-
were ready.
You were
that-
certified.
that's-
You were certified.
We
You see
was-
what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
You
That's
just
what I'm
put
saying.
Chris Paul in
That's
there,
what I'm
and
saying.
boom, we 65, 5+ wins.
There you
know what
go.
I'm saying?
See, that's exactly the point that I'm making here.
Man, y'all
Because
are-
by the time we're good, Paul George will be like
why
what,
these Mausas
36,
right
and
here.
there's a different timeline. And unfortunately, Paul George isn't for our timeline currently. Maybe in another universe, but unfortunately, as much as I would love him, I think he'd be great for this team. I would be a great building block in terms of true professionalism, a former All-Star, and someone that has led teams to multiple conference finals in Indiana and playing well.
And
with
loves the young
OKC.
players and Rockets, too. He actually
he's
loves
a
our
big
team.
fan of our guys.
Yeah.
So, I think he'd be great for us. Obviously, depends on value. I do believe that Paul George would be a great piece, but he's just not enough to get us into that echelon of championship.
But if he just wants to sign out right with us, imagine him just
Like
doing
he-
the Chris Paul
yeah.
thing and opting into the deal, and all we have to do is just match it. So we just trade away like Dylan Brooks. Would y'all do it then? Would y'all, if you
Yeah,
just
of
want to
course.
sign him?
Yeah, of
If it's
course.
just like a 2-year.
I mean,
if it's
I
just
would
a 2-year
offer the
deal.
same deal that we'd get for Mikal.
Yeah.
I mean, not as many,
Exactly.
many picks. To
No,
give,
not as
but,
many picks.
I'd definitely give like this year's and probably the pick swaps. I don't know.
It's just
I'm
funny
not
too
sure
because I don't
yet.
think you even need to do that. That's the thing. Like,
No,
because if Paul George
LA
wants to just straight up like sign.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I
LA
mean?
is definitely gonna want fair value in that regard.
Yeah, for a sign and trade, absolutely.
I mean, but then
Right.
outside of that, like those guys, like Brandon Ingram, he doesn't turn the pendulum for me.
Yeah.
The only guy I feel like that Stone probably will kick the tires with is Trae Young because he's an actual star still. He's young. He doesn't play any defense. I don't see him as an Ime guy, but he's definitely someone that can put the ball in the hoop, and he kind of alleviates the pressure off of Alp and Jalen in that sense. But defensively, he's not the kind of stalwart that you'd want in an Ime Udoka defensive rotation. He's definitely not ideal in that sense, but I feel like because of his stature in this league and who he is, that's definitely someone that Raphael Stone will probably kick the tires with. I mean, personally, I'd kick the tires with, like, Minnesota's going to run into major problems with the apron. It would be year 2 next year of being in the luxury tax territory. Naz Reid, he has a contract coming up after, not this year, but I think after 2025, he does have. I think he has one more year left, and they still have to resign Rudy Gobert. They got to sign Edwards, and Karl Anthony Towns. So I mean, there's a lot going on there. So
Moving
there might be a
parts, right.
piece that could be potentially available for the Rockets, depending on the price. So I mean, that's definitely a team to watch in terms of what could potentially occur. But outside
Right.
of that, I don't really see anything else.
All right.
That's
Okay.
readily
Right.
available.
Okay, makes sense. All right, boys, let's get ready to cook and go home with this last question. It's June 26th. Day one. Day one, by the way, because there's 2 days of the NBA draft now. Day one of the NBA draft. Are the Rockets selecting at 3? Or is the pick traded?
No, I think we selected 3.
You think so?
I think.
Because Stone doesn't have the balls to make a trade. I've told
Yeah,
y'all.
I think we
fucking
just.
told y'all.
Yeah, I think we selected 3. I think. I want us to get Reed separate, but yeah, whoever we get,
not a
whoever we
three.
get. It's-
That's next week's. That's next week's subjects, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
We're gonna discuss picks
Yeah.
next week.
I think we stay put.
Okay, we stay put. Over to you. What do you
Watch
think?
us trade down.
Shut
with
up.
Memphis. We get Marcus Smart. In the deal.
Oh, you know what?
I wouldn't mind Marcus.
I wouldn't mind
Smart.
Marcus Smart
Marcus
either.
Smart, and what's their pick right now? What are they picking? 9 or 10?
I think they're 8th or 9th.
That's fine. You know what? Fuck it.
I don't remember.
I'll take Marcus Smart in 8 or 9.
I mean, there's
Sure.
multiple teams that are looking to
Why
trade
not?
up. So, I mean, it can be a potential possibility.
Why
Depends
the F
on
not?
piece that's included.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Marcus Smart would be a great piece. Do we have space for him? I don't know.
give me all the dogs, man.
Yeah.
Bring all the dogs to Houston.
That's
If Dylan
Especially,
Brooks
yeah.
is gone and send his ass back to Memphis, then that's cool.
Hey.
Bring all the dogs.
I'm cool.
Bring all the DAWG dogs.
I mean,
Especially-
shit.
yeah.
Get me John Morant.
Bring me all the-
then we're talking. Then we're
Oh,
talking.
I mean,
Shout outs to the Rock
Smart
for
already
shouting him
played
out.
with Ime, so I mean, hey.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That
Oh,
makes
yeah,
a
good
lot
call.
of sense.
Wow,
That's
I
a
didn't
way to
even think
put
about
it.
that. You know what? Yeah, there is ties. Huh, interesting. Okay, well,
Might as well bring Jason
fuck
Tatum
it.
and Jaylen Brown over
Hey,
here.
oh,
then.
man, come on now.
No.
Celtics number 2.
Oos, if the Celtics get swept, I'd be calling on that phone right now.
No, don't.
I'd be out if I were stoned.
Hey, go ahead, send them over here, man.
Yeah, send them over.
Send them over here.
They want to come home to Ime anyways. Let's fucking make it happen.
Fuck.
Boys, it's great to be back in studio.
Yep.
This is fucking great episode, just kind of talking about the trades, obviously. Next week, I want to come right back here, discuss keeping the pick and prospects.
Yeah.
Players that we might want, players that we think we're going to get, whether or not we trade down, keep the pick. Maybe very small chance if we trade up. You never know. So let's get ready to go home here. But before we do, I got to give a shout and add one time to Big City Wings. That's right. Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint one time. Go there on Tuesday, which is my favorite day of the week in terms of deals, because they have a buy one, get one. You buy 10, you get 20. On the price of 20, you get 40. Buy 5, you get 10. That's the best deal on the market right now. The absolute best wing joint in the entire city of Houston. Find your nearest location that is nearest to you. 20 plus great flavors. Absolute, just a ball. We do our wrestling watch parties there. It's just such a blast every time. It's such a great vibe. Great hosts, great hostesses, great waiters, waitresses. They freaking kill the game every single time. So once again, that's Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint one time. Boys, let's get ready to go home here. Yeah. Good shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, give the people what they want.
I guess I'll do that. All right. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. I guess X, Twitter, whatever you guys call it. I don't know anymore. At JP_Mirabueno. Make sure to follow the podcast on Twitter and TikTok at Summit, SOMPOD. Follow us on Instagram at Summit State of Mind _POD. And make sure to follow our people, our brothers, our family over here at Apollo NBA and at Apollo HOU. And make sure to tune in to our Apollo NBA podcast, Zero Gravity. They're definitely tuning in to the NBA Finals. They got you for all your NBA Finals coverage.
Literally
over there
starting
with,
right
with
now, by
Stoney
the way.
and
The NBA Finals are starting right now.
our boy Josh Garcia. Shout out to them. And yeah, make sure to tune into those, man. I mean, they'll definitely take good care of you in terms of your NBA Finals coverage.
Good shit. DJ, over to you. Where can they find you one time? Anything else to say?
Follow me on X, Twitter, like you said, whatever the hell y'all call it. Hustle Town Season, SZN, and Stoney, Luka and Kyrie going down, buddy.
The trash
The
talk is
eternal
real.
rivalry.
Yeah.
By the way, he's not gonna get away. He's not gonna get away from this because the fact that we have yet to do it. But we had a birthday. I'm not gonna say the exact day, but we had a birthday on our show last week. That's right. It was the Big Oos. It was DJ's birthday. Come on, let's do it one time.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to DJ.
Mahoos. Yeah. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks, man.
What up, man?
I'm getting old, man. I found a gray hair in my head one day. I'm getting old, dog. It's crazy.
We're laughing because we're in our 30s and we're like, fuck, man.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I got grades everywhere,
hey,
bro.
Oos, I told you we hoop, by the way, every week. It's all downhill from here, baby.
Damn.
Okay, you can follow me on Twitter as well, at Summit Commish. Be sure to check out our Apollo podcast, Brethren That Continue to Kill the Game, BTD, Beyond the Diamond. Astros are struggling right now, but be sure to check them out for all your Houston Astros content. Shout-outs to Off the Gridiron, the #1 Texans podcast. Be sure to give them your first listen for all Houston Texans content. We appreciate each and every one of y'all for making us your first listen for all Houston Rockets content. Boys, let's get ready to go home here. As our producer gives us go home cue here, and I'm going to end this episode as I end every episode. I couldn't get that out properly. With the Go Summit, Go Apollo, and hey, keep the pick, trade the pick, get Mikal Bridges, don't get Mikal Bridges. I don't give a fuck. Rockets are trending upwards, and we're getting ready to fucking cook. All right? Go Rockets.
You're
DJ, say
not
the
a
thing.
real Rockets fan if you're going for the Mavs. That's it. Stone, don't be mad at me.
Yeah.